UCLA was supposed to be a get-right game for Penn State. This was supposed to be a game where Penn State took out all their frustrations from their double overtime loss to Oregon out on a UCLA team that a few weeks ago got dominated 35-10 by New Mexico. I can't even tell you where New Mexico is located on the map of the United States of America. I, for the longest time, thought that New Mexico was actually a city. And it didn't take me until New Mexico State beat UCLA to realize that, oh snap, New Mexico is actually a state. Never knew that. And Penn State now has put themselves in a situation with this upset to UCLA to where their back is against the wall. They're in a corner, and the only way James Franklin is going to be able to fight Penn State out of this corner and be able to save his job is if Penn State is able to win out the rest of this season, which includes beating Ohio State in Columbus and beating Indiana in the process. And I believe that losing to UCLA has given James Franklin the motivation that he needs to finally be able to get rid of his big game demons and to finally take down Ohio State, something that he hasn't done in nearly a decade. Sometimes desperation is what you need to bring the best out of you. A desperate team is a dangerous team, as we just saw last week with Florida's upset over Texas. Florida, coming out of the bye week, had a head coach whose job was pretty much perceived to be about to be ending. Everybody thought that Billy Napier was about to get fired right after that Texas game. But Florida comes out, they win it, and all of a sudden, Billy Napier is able to prolong the inevitable for at least another 2-3 weeks. James Franklin has the ability to beat Ohio State because he has a team that is just as talented as what Ohio State is. And if you have a capable team and you're a desperate team, that turns you into a dangerous team. Now we know that Penn State has the talent to beat Ohio State, but is James Franklin going to be willing to take the gambles necessary to take down a team like Ohio State? Because in the past, he's been pretty conservative in these big games against the Buckeyes. This year, though, with his back against the wall, his job on the line, James Franklin has to take some risks that he never thought about taking before. Hell, he may have to steal a play out of UCLA's playbook and run an onside kick against Ohio State that they don't see coming and hope that he can recover. He has to be more aggressive on third down. He has to be more willing to throw caution to the wind than ever before, because this season is life or death for James Franklin when it comes to a coaching sense. If he wants to remain the head coach of Penn State and Happy Valley, Penn State has to weather the storm. Their season is not over despite losing to UCLA. This is still one of the most talented teams in America. Everything that was said about how this could finally be the Penn State team that James Franklin could get over the hump with and win a national championship during the preseason, that talent is still there. Nicholas Singleton, Katron Allen, all those guys are still on the squad. They don't have a lot of big major injuries besides like a star linebacker. They are relatively healthy. So what I saw against UCLA last week is not how I'm going to define what Penn State is as a team, because the mistake that gets made commonly in college football is we judge teams based off a week-to-week basis, and we overlook what a team is overall. College football is a week-to-week sport. The Penn State team that we saw get upset against UCLA may not be the same Penn State team that we see play Ohio State in the next couple of weeks, because who your opponent plays can bring the best out of you. Certain people that you hang around bring out who you truly are. If you hang around the right people, they will reveal your true colors. If you've ever had a fake friend that acted one way when they were around you and then acted a different way when they got around a different group of people, the people that they were hanging around brought out who they truly were. And sometimes when you know that you're going up against an elite team in the big game and your back is against the wall, that brings out who you truly are. And when I look at James Franklin, I still see a very good coach. I see a fighter. I see a dude that is more than willing to do whatever it takes to get Penn State over the hump. He's made as many changes as possible to get Penn State a national championship. He stole Ohio State's defensive coordinator, and Jim Knowles, who has been widely considered to be the best D coordinator in this sport for over the last 3 years. That was supposed to be the addition that made Penn State at least a Final Four finalist. So I still believe that Penn State has the ability to accomplish all the goals that they set for themselves before this season started. They may not be able to get to the Big Ten championship. They already have 2 conference losses, so that might be wraps. But you still have the opportunity to compete for a national championship if you're able to win out and you beat Ohio State and you beat Indiana. And it's not impossible. It's not incapable of happening, because this season, with how unpredictable it's been, has shown us that as long as you are a talented team, you're a capable team. And you sprinkle in a little bit of desperation on top of that, and you become a team that I don't think anybody's going to want to play late down the stretch if you're Ohio State or Indiana. And I especially believe that Indiana is going to be in serious trouble when Penn State rolls around, because I don't think that Indiana is 75% as talented as what Penn State is. So from a roster standpoint, Penn State should handle Indiana. And they got a good shot to beat Ohio State this year. We still don't know how truly good Ohio State is. We saw them beat Texas, but obviously Texas is not the team that we thought they were going to be this season. So how good truly is Ohio State? Because it wouldn't shock me if we saw the Buckeyes fall at home to Penn State. I'm just saying that this UCLA loss, it's the kind of loss that can galvanize a team. It can be a wake-up call that Penn State definitely needs and can turn this ship around for Penn State and James Franklin. So I'm not writing off James Franklin and Penn State quite yet.